Hello and welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to another 24/7 news report. The headline news today comes from Chris Bascom, and it's that there is a possibility that Jack Harrison will return to Everton after his successive loan spells at the club. That's Chris Bascom of The Telegraph. And before we get into this, I'm going to go out of the way. Successive does not mean successful. It means continuous or things of that nature. So it basically means it's saying after his 2 loan spells at the club. I did see quite a bit of confusion about that on Twitter, so I did just want to clear that up quickly. It was no one saying he had a successful loan spell. He was very stinky at times. But we're going to try to go over both sides of the deal here. If it's cheap enough, it's a body we already, it's another body we need. With the squad's tiny, knows the squad, knows how we play, it works hard. I can give him credit on that. I will give him credit on that. But by cheap enough, I mean 20 quid. No, I'm joking, but I don't think Jack Harrison's worth any more than £5 million. I just really don't. I just don't see there's a world where he's worth anything like that, where he's been back-to-back seasons now one of the lesser wingers in the Premier League, I'll say, to try to keep it nice, in terms of output, in terms of production, in terms of everything you want, really. The only thing he really excels in is defensive work, so it would have to be a deal where we're playing practically nothing, because I just don't see a world where Jack Harrison's worth it, to be honest with you. I think his next move should probably be just MLS or something like that, to be honest. I think that's his level. I just don't know. Maybe a championship club. But yeah, I'm not too sure. A lot of it is, I just don't think the end product's there. I don't think he's dynamic enough. I don't think he offers enough in terms of going forward to contribute. As a backup, he's okay. He's not the end of the world, but I think we can get better backups as well, to be honest with you. So we'll have to see. If it's cheap enough, I won't be too bothered. But genuinely, I wouldn't be happy with anything more than £5 million for Jack Harrison. Anyway, the next bit of news comes from SantiJFM on Twitter, and it's that Idrissa Gueye will sign his new Everton contract in the next few hours. Gueye will sign a 1-year deal with an option of another year. Mentioned this before. Again, don't want to go into too much detail because we've talked about Gueye probably the past week in news videos. Really good, one of our best players last season. Getting up there in age, but was fantastic last season. Showed no signs of slowing down. Really good deal. Saves us needing to go in to buy another DM for a considerable amount of money, because I can imagine if he left, we'd want a younger DM, someone who's maybe 23, 24, because I just don't think Robinham's developed enough yet, and I just don't think James Garner's good enough to be a 38 game starter, to be honest with you. If we get Gueye, and I wouldn't mind getting another defensive midfielder in as well, to be honest. I like James Garner, but I don't think he's as good as some as our fan base seems to think he is. Anyway, the next bit of news comes from Foot Mercato, and it's that Everton and Leeds are both interested in signing Timothy Weah from Juventus. Marseille and Monaco also have an interest. The American could be sold for €15 million. Running a poll on the Twitter at Everton Newsfeed if you ever want to participate in any of these votes. Timothy Weah to Everton, leave us your thoughts. 2,647 votes as of recording this video, so thank you to everyone that did vote. 69% of fans said that they would take him. 22% of fans said that they are unsure, and 9% of fans said that they would not. I think Weah is really good for €15 million, which is like 13 million pounds. I think that's a really good deal. Again, I've mentioned his versatility before. Although he doesn't excel in one position, a backup for 15 million. I think he's maybe 25, 26, not too old. Can play fullback, can play on the wing. He's dynamic enough to cause problems. He's quite decent in front of goal. I think for that much, it's a really good deal. I think that's something we should be looking for, because we have such a small squad that we need squad players who can play multiple positions, where I can offer that. I think it'd be a really good deal for that price. Moving on, Ben Jacobs reported that Everton and Manchester United are working on a £5 million deal to sign Wilfred Ndidi. Fantastic for this amount of money. I think Ndidi has dropped off a little bit in the past year or two, but he is still a good DM. Defensive numbers are still through the roof. The attacking output isn't as good, even though his actual numbers for assists per 90 are really good for his position. I think indeed he's really good in terms of not an Idrissa Gueye replacement. I think he could play alongside Idrissa Gueye. Although you would want someone a little more dynamic in that position with the ball at their feet. I think for £5 million, it's a deal we have to do because that's just ridiculously cheap. I struggle to see why he'd go to Manchester United with Casemiro, Ugarte, the other players they have in that position. He's going to go there to be third. I mean, Amorim might prefer him over Casemiro and Ugarte, but what does that say about Ugarte, really? You'd think logically he's going in to be third choice DM. With us, he'd be second choice behind Idrissa Gueye. And of course, we do play 2 DMs in that system as well, since I can imagine Harrison Armstrong is going to get another loan. But yeah, I'd really love Ndidi for that price. I think that'd be great. Etado Deportivo in Spain have reported that Tieno Barry's move to Everton is complete and he's due to be announced imminently. Really good. Mentioned Barry a million times as well. Someone who looks like he'd be a really good player. Hopefully someone who can bang in the goals this season. I think he will struggle at the start of the season, but hopefully come towards the second half of the season we can see a real good bit of business. And yeah, again, we've mentioned him so much I don't want to go into detail on him again. Tuto Mercato reported that Everton have an interesting Palmeiras defender Richard Rios. The Colombian midfielder looks set to leave with Spurs, Nottingham Forest, Inter Milan and Al Hilal also interested. I am not too sure about Richard Rios, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know much about him. If I have a little look here, Richard Rios, he has 9 games in the Serie A, 5 games in the Copa Libertadores, 14 games, 2 goals, 2 assists. His numbers look absolutely stupid. He's only 25, but his numbers look absolutely ridiculous. He's in the top 15% of midfielders for a majority of stats that you see as important for a midfielder. Looks to be a really good player. If I look at some similar players, Malik Tillman from PSV is someone who's been compared to. That's probably the only player on there that's really well known. But yeah, I think I'm not too sure because the Brazilian league, again, it's a decent league as shown by the how the teams are doing in the Club World Cup this year. I think it's definitely a top 10 league. I think it's an interesting. It depends what they ask for. I think signing out of Brazil can be a smart idea at times, and he seems to be a player who has a lot of talent and he's clearly ready to take the step up by his statistics, but we'll have to see with that one. I'm not too sure on him. Everton and Roma are pushing forward for a deal for Flamengo right back Wesley Franca, according to Corriere dello Sport. They report that the synergic operation between the two clubs is underway. Everton have already made contact and been told to pay €30 million. I don't know about this. The rumour has been we pay Roma and loan him straight to Roma. I don't know if I like that. Us being made to pay and then send him straight to Roma for Roma to probably buy him next season for the same amount. I don't know if that's what they're going to do or if we're going to bring him in and then Roma desperately need a right back. We need one. They take him this year. We then get him on a permanent. I don't know how I feel about that. You know, this synergic operation. I don't want Everton to turn into the feeder club for Roma. I just don't think that's what we should be looking at, really. Franca might be good. If it's just a loan, then he comes back to us. Cool, sounds good to me. I don't really know much about the player. Again, I think you have to be a world-class young talent to come out of Brazil and be worth €30 million, if I'm going to be brutally honest. I think you have to be leagues above the people around you, and Franca might, but I don't know too much about him. So we'll have to see how that progresses in the future, but it does look like that's something that could be happening. Now on some confirmed news. Everton women have signed Spain under-23s winger Ornella Viganola from Liga F side Granada. Welcome to the club, Ornella. I mentioned this last time, seems to be a good player, good dribbler. I don't know too much about her. Again, I'm not a big Liga F watcher, but playing for the Spain under-23s is a good sign with how talented the Spanish women's team is right now across all divisions. So yeah, it looks like a good signing. We'll have to see how she turns out towards the start of the season to get a little bit more about her. And then defender Luca Davis has signed his first professional contract with Everton, keeping him with the club until the end of June 2027. So congratulations to Luca, and hopefully you can have a big career at Everton moving forward. But that is all for this video. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Everton Newsfeed and follow me on Twitter at CallumBrannan3. And I'll see you all for the next video and or live stream that I am on.